It's now time for the Pony Cake Sports Podcast with your hosts, Josh Stevens, Tim Thompson, and Tom Schultz. Woo!
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Pony Cake Sports.
Hi.
Hi, Josh.
Hello there, Tim.
I didn't know you were back already.
I am back, and I am going to steer the ship right into a wall.
Thank God
Just
you're
joking,
back.
just joking.
Honestly, your job sucks. Being the captain of the ship, we got so much hate mail. I'm not sure if we get as much hate mail when you're here, but I am very happy to see you back here, out of the West Coast, out of Iowa, and back with us. We missed you.
Yeah, glad to be back, and I'm ready to get the show going. We are going to be talking about our predictions for some of these NFL games that are coming up this week. Week 1 of the NFL. Obviously, it starts
Best week of the year.
It starts on Thursday.
It's officially football week.
Officially football week. Everybody get pumped for it. I know we are. How you guys doing? Haven't seen you in a while.
Been kind of weird.
Been a bit.
It was weird seeing you at our annual home league draft. I was kind of like, "Whoa, who are you?"
Yep.
Normally not used to seeing you at your own house, which is also kind of weird.
True.
But it was good. We had a great fantasy league draft.
We did.
Went better than I thought it would, and it was good to see everyone.
It was fantastic. Like you said, we are definitely glad you're back. It's been all right since you've been gone, but happy you're here. Only difference for me is it's weird, doing the shows here without your fiance on my lap.
Very true, very true. We will try to keep this as short as possible or as long as possible. So, a full 16-game slate, not like last year when it was 15 with the, what was it?
Hurricane,
right?
Yeah.
God, dang. But
Japan got it this year. Japan got a big old tsunami.
full 16 games.
Because we remember Pearl Harbor. That's why that happened.
What?
Thursday night game starts off with the Atlanta Falcons and the Philadelphia Eagles in Philly.
Man, it is hard for a team coming off a Super Bowl victory to come out first game of the year on Thursday Night Football and perform. We saw that last year with the New England Patriots. What happened to them? They went out and got shellacked by the Kansas City Chiefs. No one saw that coming. I think the same thing's going to happen this year. I think the Atlanta Falcons are going to travel up to Philadelphia and get that revenge from the playoffs last season. A big game for Julio Jones. And Nick Foles comes back to life. Does not look like Super Bowl Nick Foles. Kind of looks like shitty Kansas City Nick Foles. Carson Wentz, their Eagles fans are going to miss him. All the people that got Nick Foles tattoos are going to regret doing that. He is not a good quarterback. He got lucky.
Still won him a Super Bowl, so it doesn't matter. Those tattoos are still valid. But I agree with you. I'm picking the Atlanta Falcons as well. I don't think they're going to get shellacked. I think it's going to be a close game. Part of me hopes that I'm wrong because I want my prediction of Nick Foles coming out and dominating to be a thing, to put the pressure on keeping Carson Wentz on the sidelines that I've been calling for since about May or June. But I agree. I think the Falcons are going to come out there. It's going to be a close game. I'm looking at a 28-24 type of ball game. And end of the day, the Falcons find a way to spoil the Super Bowl ring ceremony.
I promise this year I will not change my picks.
Yeah, okay.
I am also going with the Atlanta Falcons.
Do you promise this year to actually make your picks? Because that was also part of the problem last year.
You also didn't make your picks last year.
I was the only one that made picks every week. So that's why I won.
I'm going with the Atlanta Falcons as well. I think it'll be just too much for the Eagles to start out the year. Wentz not there. Alshon Jeffrey is out as well. Running game suspect. We don't know what we're going to get there.
They say Jay Ajayi is good to go, but it's still concerning, I think.
This podcast has always hated the Eagles.
Yeah.
It's kind of amazing. We don't show them much respect.
No, and it's mostly because their fan base is just nothing but a bunch of dirty, rotten scumbags.
Their fan base makes me laugh.
Their fan base is like.
But you like the Bills fan base?
Their fan base is an uptight version of the Bills fan base.
And they're not scumbags?
No, the Bills fan base are scumbags, but they admit it. They admit it. The Eagles fan base are just nothing but trash. And then they come out, they think they're the Patriots, but they're actually the Bills. That's my problem with the Eagles fan base. You guys are nothing. It took you 75 years to win a Super Bowl. Bravo, idiots.
Moving on, second game, which is going to be the first game of the Sunday games. Buffalo Bills at the Baltimore Ravens. What a barn burner we have here.
What's amazing is Tim's assessment of the Eagles fan base. There hasn't been 70-plus Super Bowls, so that fact is impossible to happen, Tim. But this game, I think, is going to be the biggest shellacking of Sunday at the noon games. Baltimore Ravens are going to kill Nathan Peterman. He's got no chance. Baltimore's defense, 4 touchdowns. Baltimore wins big.
I'm going to ask you guys this. Are we going to see a Mr. Jackson sighting at any other position other than quarterback in this game?
I don't think there's any point in this game.
Not this game, no. I'm super happy that the way the depth chart played out, that he's third string, just proved that this year it's going to be more of what I said compared to what you guys said.
You said he was going to be a backup quarterback.
And he's not going to. He's going to play other positions this year. This year he is. He's the third string quarterback. You'll see him at running back and wide receiver this year more than you will at the quarterback position. Beyond that, I want to say the new Nike campaign just came out. Well, Colin Kaepernick faced the organization. Some people are pissed, cutting up their Nike socks. I saw a Nike shoe on fire. I saw a bunch of weird stuff. Those people are just a bunch of morons.
Shame on you guys, because you probably paid a lot of money for that shit.
No, they look like the Kohl's versions, so they're like half price knockoff versions.
But what I want to say is all Nike's campaign should be is a picture of Colin Kaepernick and just a picture of him that says the Bills picked Nathan Peterman over me. Nathan Peterman getting the start here week 1 against the Baltimore Ravens.
You're acting like Kaepernick was good the last time we saw him. He wasn't good.
Colin Kaepernick
I would
is
take
way
Kaepernick
better
over
than
Nathan
Nathan Peterman.
We'll
Nathan
see.
Peterman
We'll
should
see.
not ever play again in the NFL.
He had one bet out.
Nathan Peterman could barely be a JUCO quarterback. He should be on Last Chance U. That's where Nathan Peterman should go right now.
Hey, some of those quarterbacks are now corners for the Bears. So.
Yeah, right now Nathan Peterman should be quarterback for a Last Chance U. What's the coach's name? The one who swears all the time? From the hood?
I can't remember. He's from Compton.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, he should be coaching Nathan Peterman. Nathan Peterman's like that.
Nathan Peterman would cry.
Nathan Peterman's like that third string quarterback that they had in the last season. That always went out there to replace the good quarterback, and he was always just swearing at him. That's Nathan Peterman.
I have the Ravens in that game as well.
Yeah.
Moving on, we have the Cincinnati Bengals going to your Indianapolis Colts. Tommy?
Andrew Luck is back. I think the Bengals offense will move the football early and often against the Colts. Andy Luck's going to provide some fourth quarter magic. Hopefully get a late turnover. Andrew Luck and the Colts win 27-24.
I have it very similar, very close, Tom. I agree completely. I think there's going to be a little bit of, you're going to come out of that first halftime not feeling very good. I think that Andrew Luck, especially when you hear him talk about his year last year and just how he was so down, he was a terrible SOB, he's getting into the hang of things. That offensive line is still trash at the moment. That's the part that scares me. Can they get a running game going? That's going to be a big factor of how successful that they are. But I still have 100% faith in Andrew Luck. Now that he is made of Avenger parts, he's got that mechanical arm, he finds a way to get the win because the Bengals are trash.
I have the Indianapolis Colts as well. I think Andrew Luck is going to try to come out and make a statement. I don't know if
We're all agreeing. I don't know.
we have the Cincinnati Bengals being that team yet. I'm really waiting to see if they're going to give Joe Mixon really that full reign of the backfield this year with Giovanni Bernard probably stepping back like he should.
I think they do. I think Joe Mixon, I think this week is actually Joe Mixon's coming out party. I think the Bengals lose, but the Colts defense is going to give up some yards to Joe Mixon. They're going to give up. I see him breaking a 20, 30, 40-yard run. I see him catching some balls out of the backfield. This week we get to see a full gambit of what Joe Mixon is capable of in this Bengals offense. And Joe Mixon alone makes Andy Dalton the better quarterback, in my opinion.
Next game, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Cleveland Browns.
God, I want to put the Steelers on upset alert so hard, especially with what's going on in Pittsburgh with the Le'Veon Bell issue, James Conner. There has to be issues going on with this football team right now.
Yep.
When one of your best players is still holding out because the franchise refuses to pay them. I completely understand it's a running back. A lot of franchises don't value them as high as other teams. But when you got a player of Le'Veon Bell's caliber, you have to put him in. He's meant everything to this franchise. I think the Steelers are going to struggle in this game. I think it's going to be close. I don't think the Steelers put up a whole bunch of points. I think the Browns are able to move the football. I think Carlos Hyde has a big game, but the Steelers win with a late field goal, 19-17.
I just love how, right after the draft, both of you guys were saying that Carlos Hyde was on the bubble of potentially being cut. And now...
Never said that.
We can go back to episodes, absolutely.
All right.
Maybe it was just Josh, but
It was definitely me.
It was definitely a
Definitely me.
discussion that
Said after this year.
that was had here. But I agree with you, Tom, in the fact that the Pittsburgh Steelers, there's some inner turmoil there for sure. You hear Mike Tomlin coming out saying that he knows nothing about it. He didn't even acknowledge the fact that Le'Veon Bell was a person. You have linemen backing James Conner and just saying this guy's out there working his ass off. They're kind of all rallying around James Conner, and James Conner's been kind of a I don't want to say like a prize to them, but they're building themselves up around just how hard he's working. He's trying to earn the respect of his team. And then you can't forget they have Big Ben, who's always able to do his thing, and this guy named Antonio Brown, the Juju Smith-Schusters of the world. Who's their tight end that I'm blanking on right now? Thomas? Vance McDonald's still out there. The Pittsburgh Steelers, I still think, have no problem just yet going into Cleveland and taking care of business. I love the answer to one Steelers offensive lineman was asked his thoughts on it. He goes, I don't know anything about that. I'm worried about number 95 on the Browns. You heard of him? Myles Garrett? He's actually pretty good. Just playing it into that. It's going to be more competitive now. The Browns are going to show some signs of life. Like you said, Carlos Hyde, I expect to be out there. Jarvis Landry, I expect to have around 8 catches somewhere in that area. They're still going to do some things, but at the end of the day, the better team will prevail.
I think that the Steelers are going to be without Le'Veon Bell week 1.
I agree.
I don't think Le'Veon Bell is going to be out there. I think it's going to be James Conner, which James Conner has looked really, really good. But you know what? I have the Steelers going on the road this game. Shut up. And because they're on the road and because Cleveland needs to turn this fan base around, I'm going with Two-Rod and the Cleveland Browns.
This game really reminds me of last year when the Steelers traveled to Chicago. They had the national anthem
Seriously?
issues with Andrew Villanueva, and this team was kind of fractured. This is kind of what it reminds me of. The Browns, if they can run the football, play good defense, which that defense has been on fire in the preseason.
Yep.
It's going to be a tough game.
Tyrod's going to make Cleveland...
Toe-Rod.
Yeah, pick the
Two-Rod.
name. Pick how you want to say it,
He's
pal.
gonna make Cleveland great again.
Toe-Rod.
Moving on. So I have the Browns. You guys have the Steelers.
Yes.
All right.
Don't
That
change
went all
it.
over me. I like that.
Sorry.
Moving on, we have the Tennessee Titans at the Miami Dolphins.
This is a game I really don't care about. Dolphins, man, I really like their symbol. They've got a cool mascot, a dolphin. Everyone loves
What?
dolphins. I just really don't care about this
How,
football team.
we're going to the breakdown.
You know what's
and week
funny?
1, you go to their mascot.
Every
Who are you,
time-
my wife?
Every time I think about the Miami Dolphins, I think of Ace Ventura, Pet Detective.
Yes.
That's everything that pops into my mind. The movie is great, and I like the Dolphins because of it.
All right, both of you guys are freaking bozos.
You let me make my pick, Tim?
Yeah, go ahead.
Not a fan of the Dolphins. What they have been doing. Tennessee Titans, they've switched their uniforms. They look like a real team right now. They've got a new head coach.
They're considering becoming the Oilers again.
Yes, they've got everything going for them. But I'm picking the Dolphins to come out week 1, get the upset home win against the Titans, and quit believing in Marcus Mariota. I don't like him.
Tom, you kind of stole my thunder there a little bit. Not where I thought
You're
you
copying me again?
You were going. I think Tennessee still has a lot to figure out in terms of their team. Like you said, new coach. They're still trying to figure themselves out. Dolphins have another year under Gase. Gase has made it a point from last year and into this year to get that locker room clean, positive attitude, make them all get everyone on the same page. Hence why Jay Ajayi ended up getting traded last year. Kenyon Drake, still someone who could be a potential big-name running back. Ryan Tannehill is back. Ryan Tannehill came back this offseason with some swagger. Pissed off, wanting to just take control of that locker room. And
It seems like he's about to lose his job.
It seems like him and Adam Gase are on the same page. I'm not sure what exactly he's going to be, but I'm interested to see it. You mentioned Kenny Stills before. Can Devontae Parker take his 9 fingers and learn how to catch a football? I don't know if he's going to play week 1. Probably not.
No, he's not.
But who's the Gesicki? They said that he's going to take the control of the tight end spot. I'm very interested to see what he's able to do because he could be a factor there for them down the road as well. I am with you, Tom. I am jumping right on board. Home divisional matchup. That's a
divisional.
Oh, it's AFC East, AFC South. Sorry. Just a home game for the Dolphins. It's a big game, and I think the Dolphins find a way. 31-28.
I hate Marcus Mariota. I hate Ryan Tannehill. 2 of the crappiest quarterbacks I can think of in this league. I despise Mariota. I don't think he's that good. That in the preseason where he had the one run to his left and then he threw the ball to Pittsburgh Steelers defender, the rookie. It was just such a bad pass, and that is just the epitome of Marcus Mariota. It's just constant bad throws.
If you want to talk Mariota, I think Mariota has already reached his peak, in all honesty. I think he reached his peak and he's on the decline. He overachieved. Listen, Marcus Mariota was talked about coming out of college as a Joey Harrington. He's going to be the next Joey Harrington. Same body style, same kind of movement, everything. And he came out his rookie season and overachieved. Now teams are figuring out he has tendencies that are just, he's very, very repetitive on his movement, on his reads, on what he plays out.
Stop hitting my table.
Sorry, I didn't mean to. I just don't think that he's going to be an elite quarterback in the league. And I agree with you. I'm not a fan at all, Josh.
The Miami Dolphins also picked up a guy that the Tennessee Titans cut earlier this week, and that was quarterback Luke Falk. So maybe he's going to give him some info on Mr. Marcus Mariota. I doubt it, but who knows. But all I can say is Ryan Tannehill will not finish as the quarterback by the end of this season for the Miami Dolphins.
Did you pick the Dolphins too?
No, I'm taking the Tennessee Titans with the shitty Marcus Mariota.
Minka Fitzpatrick makes a game-changing play in this, scores a defensive touchdown. I like him, and I think he's going to help that defense out a lot.
Adoree Jackson makes a game-winning interception for a touchdown.
He might
We'll see.
return a kick for a touchdown.
He could.
You can't catch anything.
Moving on. You can't catch anything, you just return a kick? That's catching the same thing? I hate you so much. Moving on, we have the San Francisco 49ers at the Minnesota Vikings. This game is juicy. I like it.
I agree.
This should be a fun game.
I think this might be one of my games of the week. Outside of my own team, this is one of my games of the week that I want to watch.
What you guys got?
Tim, you want to start?
I'll start. I have the San Francisco 49ers. Jimmy G is going to continue his winning ways and stay undefeated. I like Minnesota a lot. They have a lot of offensive firepower. Their defense is really good. Pretty much they should win this game. But Jimmy G is pretty much anointed a saint, and he will win this game for the 49ers.
Josh,
He's like a witch doctor almost.
Jimmy G will have to be a saint because he's going to have really no running game going into this.
Yep,
at least
nothing.
And at least
Alfred Morris over 100 yards.
At least when he was when he came in last year, he had Carlos Hyde. The Carlos Hyde and mixing it in with Matt Breida there. Listen, I'm not saying that your boy, who's the guy you just said?
Alfred Morris.
Alfred Morris can't be something down the road, but he hasn't been there the whole offseason. He still needs to be kind of brought into their system.
He's played in their system
Yeah,
before.
Same system.
A little bit more.
Same system as Shanahan ran.
If it was the same system and he was ready to go,
He's ready to go.
If he was ready to go, he would be the number one running back and not Matt Breida. That's a fact.
First preseason game, I think
Fact.
he had 12 rushes for 87
That's
yards.
a fact.
Very interesting.
Then why isn't
Very
he the number
interesting.
one running back?
He is
He's
the
not.
number one running
No,
back.
he wasn't.
Just because on paper it says...
When the
it
coach
says
comes out and
Alfred
says
Morris.
Matt Breida is the number one running back, he's not the number one running
Just
back.
because it says Matt
Week
Breida
one against
and...
this defense is not the time for the San Francisco 49ers to try to figure it out.
It says Matt Breida or and Alfred Morris,
No,
right?
it says Matt Breida 1,
No, it
Alfred
doesn't.
Morris 2.
I know Matt Breida was taking the snaps of the number ones this week, but yeah, it's it sucks right now. I want to see Jerick McKinnon, come back. This is a cool storyline. Come back, face his former team. His former team refuses to pay him. They're going with the younger guy, and Dalvin Cook saving money, and he gets that revenge game. That's not going to happen now. That is not on the plate.
Gets that revenge surgery now.
I don't think the Niners can go out and win this football game. If it was at San Francisco, I'd give them a puncher's chance.
For sure.
But I think the Vikings, that crowd's going to be rowdy. They've got an improved defense. That front seven is fantastic. The corners and back four are fantastic as well. Kirk Cousins should be an upgrade at the quarterback spot. I think it's going to be a big day for the Vikings on the offensive side of the football. Big game for Dalvin Cook. Vikings win big in this game. And 49ers fans freak out that Jimmy G isn't a Magic Man.
I agree. I'm very interested to see as well. I don't think it's been talked about enough. Kirk Cousins' personality, him doing the Viking chant after every touchdown, things are going to get wild. That stadium's going to be the Minnesota, and it pains me to say this as an NFC North competitor, that stadium is going to turn into like what the Seahawks have been. It's going to get loud in there. Kirk Cousins is the perfect quarterback for that organization.
Moving on, we have
Niners?
Yeah, I went with the Niners.
Tom and you and I are on the same.
Houston Texans at the New England Patriots.
Go ahead.
This is another game that I'd like to watch on Sunday, but I probably won't be because I'll be watching my Colts play at noon. I'll probably catch a replay of this game. It'll be interesting. Last time these two teams played, it was a shootout. That New England defense could not stop the Texans, but the Patriots had the ball last and ended up winning this football game. I still got to go with the AFC champs, the New England Patriots. They do not lose many games at home. They got the Texans right where they want them, playing in Foxborough. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, but I think we see Deshaun Watson struggle a little bit. There's a lot more tape on him than there was the last time these two teams played. But I think the Patriots are going to be able to move the football. Brady might get hit a little bit, but it'll be very interesting to see what this offense looks like for the Patriots. I believe right now they only got 4 wide receivers on their active roster.
Yep.
They got to use these running backs. We'll see if Sony Michel is healthy, how much they use Rex Burkhead. This is a very interesting matchup for Week 1.
I don't think it's nearly as interesting. I think the Patriots end up running away with it. But with that said, I think that the Texans combat the quote-unquote what do people know about or what are they going to know about Deshaun Watson with, hey, you know what? Deonta Foreman's out right now. He's hurt. Look for a heavy dose of Lamar Miller against that Patriots defense. Lamar Miller, I think, is a very undervalued this week fantasy football running back. Feel like he's going to finish top 10 in fantasy scoring for running backs this week specifically. But with that said, I think at the end of the day, Tom Brady finds a way like he always does. I don't think the Texans are deep enough to and mature enough yet to handle what the Patriots are going to bring at home in Foxborough. I have the Patriots as well.
Hey, Tim, how many wide receivers does the Patriots have?
I believe Tom just said 4.
4? Okay, I just remember in your text you said 3.
They had
That's
3 and
Tom.
then they signed 1.
They signed 1?
On the practice squad.
Oh, okay.
From someone's practice squad at Cuts.
In my opinion, that is absolutely ridiculous, and it can only happen with a quarterback like Tom Brady.
Oh, yeah.
And you have to look at some of those running backs that they have as well, with James White, who can catch the ball out of the backfield. I think that is a huge plus for them. I don't think James White gets enough love in the fantasy world or as just a player in general. We saw 2 years ago on what he did in the playoffs. Very capable catching the ball out of the backfield. And it's going to be very interesting to see if Sony Michel does have some sort of play in this game. Like we think that he's going to later on in the season. But is he healthy enough to be that guy that can do something in the beginning of the season? But it's going to be very interesting.
What's going to be annoying is when Jeremy Hill has 3 touchdowns in this game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like
It's
kind of the
Patriots way.
Gillislee crap
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah.
It's just going to be crazy.
It's going to be very interesting. I'm going to go with the Patriots. I think it's a no-brainer.
Yep.
But yeah, that's just me. I like the Houston Texans. I just think it's a lot to ask from that team going against Tom Brady and those Patriots. Moving on, Tampa Bay Bucks versus the New Orleans Saints. Saints win 58-0.
Yeah, earlier Tom mentioned the least interesting game as the Ravens versus the Bills. Here's the biggest blowout of the week. Saints-Bucks. It's an interdivision game. Dirk Cutter literally wakes up every morning, looks in the mirror and says, I can't wait to be fired from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I don't know why they kept him, in all honesty. Nothing is going right for them whatsoever. They can't keep players healthy. The fact that they're even coming out publicly now and saying that it's not a sure thing that Jameis Winston will be the starting quarterback when he comes back is just dumb. Why would you do that? You even if you want to like instill some type of fear in him, keep that closed doors. Keep that in. And hey, you're gonna have to work. We're gonna put you on the depth chart number 2 when you come back. We're not sure if you're starting. Keep that in closed doors, Dirk Cutter. Why make that public? This is a guy who potentially could still be talent alone, and you know how much I hate him. You're a franchise quarterback. You don't have a running back right now to speak of, a real one, because it's almost like the Doug Martin thing all over again. The Doug Martin situation, this situation is very similar in, is he going to play? Is he not gonna, did this rule suspension here? But it's a headache. Tampa Bay's best thing they have going for them is their defense. But it was the same as last year, and they were a failure last year. I hate this team. This reminds me of the Bears 3 years ago. They're trash, and they potentially will be the number 1 overall pick in 2019.
Dang, you do not believe them at all. I have a little more faith in Josh's Bucks. I'm really hoping Vita Vea ends up playing right now. I think they said he's questionable, more close to doubtful than anything. But I would have liked to see him paired with Gerald McCoy in that front 4 that they have. Brought in JPP. Who'd they bring in from Philly, Josh? They brought in another defense. Yeah, Vinny Curry. So that defense has gotten better. They should be better at rushing the quarterback. But it's a big pill to swallow going into New Orleans. That crowd is going to be rocking. They were close, very close to making it to the NFC Championship last year. But a freak play caused that. You got Drew Brees, Michael Thomas, Alvin Kamara. That offensive line is hot. That defense is getting better. It's just too much for the Bucs right now, especially without Jameis Winston. I think the Saints are going to win this football game, and I think it's going to be over early as well.
Bucs score under 10.5. That's my take there.
Yeah,
even with all the garbage
even
time,
when they're being down a bunch, that's my hot take. They're under 10.5.
It'd have to be really bad,
and that's how bad I think they are. That's why I think they're going to be the number 1 overall pick. They're that bad this year.
If they are the number 1 pick, what do they do in the draft? Take a running back? Take Bosa? Take a quarterback?
Bosa or Ed Oliver.
When we get to, there's too much. We're way too early for that.
Just asking. It's never too early to talk college football, boys.
From Notre Dame.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Wimbush. Come on, get your head out of your ass. They'd take Will Grier, but that's just me.
We'll see.
And then draft Sills. Move up in the first. Did you see Sills?
Just shut up and let's. We're not talking that right
West
now.
Virginia, baby.
Will Grier, almost 500 yards, 5 toadies.
Top 10
New York Giants and Jacksonville Jaguars is our next matchup. Giants at home. Obviously, a new contract for OBJ. It seems like the team is very happy, built around him. They bring in Saquon Barkley, or as I like to call him, second coming of Jesus Christ. That offensive line is improved with bringing in Nate Soldier. That defense, it seems like, to have a little bit of their swagger back. A little bit now that friggin' goofy mustache man is gone. So I don't know. What do you guys think?
You picked first, Tim. You've been copying me all day.
All right, that's fine. I will. Jacksonville Jaguars. I get that their defense is fantastic. I am still not a Blake Bortles believer. I believe he was a top 10 quarterback last year in fantasy.
I think he was like 13 or 14.
Okay, Leonard Fournette is still a valuable asset. D.D. Westbrook, people are saying he's going to do this and do that. Who's your other boy? Keelan Cole.
Dante Moncrief.
Yeah, I don't see it. They go into New York, and I don't. I'm just giving out pieces. The Giants' offense.
I'm gonna give all the reasons why they should win.
I know. I named their weapons. When you go back to full weapons, if the Giants' defense can be even mediocre, Eli Manning realizes that this may be one of his last chances to get a playoff team, to get a potential Super Bowl team. He has an offensive line in front of him. He has a star running back, which he hasn't had in his career. He has Odell Beckham Jr., he has Evan Ingram, Sterling Shepard. The New York Giants go in and they put a stamp on it. I think they win by 2 touchdowns.
Tim, I was making all those faces and hand gestures because I'm picking the Giants as well. And I'm pissed. This was another one of my upsets that I've kind of had circled since I saw these two teams playing each other. Like everything you brought up, that improved offensive line, Saquon Barkley is going to add a big-time dimension. We've seen teams that have given the Jaguars issues are teams that have explosive running backs that can come out of the backfield and be receiving threats. That's exactly what Saquon Barkley is. I just think it's going to be too much for the Jaguars. You know, that team is cocky right now, as they should be. Just on the field talent, that defense is probably the best or the most talented team on that side of the football. That offense, different story. Absolutely love that offensive line, like Leonard Fournette. But yeah, Blake Bortles, I do not trust him. Not a believer in him. Not a believer in those receivers. Give me the Giants in this matchup.
You know who's got 2 thumbs and is a believer in Blake Bortles? This guy.
Dude, he's like your quarterback.
He is.
You would love him on the Bucs.
I feel like we'd be. Oh, I would love him on the Bucs.
He's like a slightly worse Brad Johnson.
He's like the Laquan Treadwell of quarterbacks.
Jacksonville is just going to be too much for the Giants in this
Boris
game.
the Treadwell.
It'll be very exciting though to see the Jacksonville defense versus Saquon Barkley in that offensive line.
And Odell.
You know what you do in Madden? The first thing, you start with the Bucks, you trade Jameis Winston for Blake Bortles, you trade Mike Evans for Laquan Treadwell, and you start up. That's like your perfect Buccaneers franchise.
I got to trade for a running back too. I can't roll with Peyton Barber and Wayne Gallman.
Yeah, but you will on
or
your
what's his
fantasy
face,
team.
Paul Perkins.
You trade for Chris Carson.
Yeah, I would trade for Chris Carson. That's what I would do.
Who are you taking?
Jacksonville Jaguars for me. Moving on, Kansas City Chiefs at the ALA Chargers.
This should be a home game for the Chargers, but it really isn't. Chiefs fans travel well. They're going to travel to the soccer stadium very well. There'll probably be close to 20,000 Chiefs fans there. There's no one in LA likes the Chargers. They're all Rams fans. That's like a fact.
No one in Kansas City likes the Chiefs.
Yeah, they do. Chiefs fans are fantastic. They're one of the best traveling teams. They're like the Cubs of like football.
I've
Their fans
never
travel
heard
great.
or seen that ever.
Have you ever been to a away Chiefs game?
Yeah, I've been to a Bears Chiefs game.
And like 30% were Chiefs fans.
No, there were literally no Chiefs fans.
Well, you're crazy. I think you're false, Tim. We're gonna check on game day how many Chiefs fans arrived in LA for this
I
game.
want you to count.
I'm going to give you a detailed description of what the crowd looked like from an aerial view. But I'm gonna go with the Chargers in this game. Patrick Mahomes, it should be his first big start. That defense, I can't get behind them. I think Pip Rivers, I think Keenan Allen, Mel Gordon, they're going to have big-time games, and I like the Chargers defense. I think they're going to be able to do a little bit of work against Patrick Mahomes. It might take him a little bit for that offense to get going.
Yeah, Chiefs defense is trash right now. I really like what the Chargers are bringing to the table. Gordon, Williams, Keenan, all of them. So I do think that to your guys' point, your boy Mahomes might get some late garbage time.
Oh yeah.
So the Deshaun Watson effect here with Patrick Mahomes this week, for sure. Once the Ingram and Bosa duo are out of the lineup, so. But I think the Chargers win easily in front of all of their 40,000 plus home fans.
It holds like 24,000.
Yeah, that too.
I got the Chargers in this game as well.
People outside.
They did sign Antonio Gates, but
So
I don't
dumb.
think he's going to be playing this
He
week.
shouldn't be.
And you're going to see a lot of 3 wide receiver sets, a lot of shotgun formations, and you're going to see a lot of check down passes to the running back and a lot of Keenan Allen on the slants. Hopefully, he does not get injured.
Hey, don't
Quit
bang
knocking
on
on
my
my
table.
table. First touchdown catch in a wheelchair by one Antonio Gates.
Chargers for me.
Chargers for me as well.
Moving on, Dallas Cowboys at the Carolina Panthers.
This is a fun matchup. Both
I'm gonna
these...
go first because we're gonna choose the same thing again. I just know it.
All right.
I think the Panthers.
Oh, hold on real quick. Will Greer, 429 yards and 5 touchdowns. David Sills, 7 catches, 140 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Woo! On
good
base
start
for
to
like
the
30 something.
season.
Whippity doo dah day. I'm sure his grandma is very proud. Panthers and Cowboys are. This is another fun game. Very interested to see two teams who have a lot of question marks. Who is Dak Prescott going to be this year? Is Ezekiel Elliott still going to be the same guy with a offensive line that's not what it has been in his first 2 NFL seasons? Can Cam Newton be an MVP status, Cam Newton form, Christian McCaffrey, who's he going to be? A lot of questions here. I think it's very interesting, but I think that the Dallas Cowboys are able to go into Carolina. Ezekiel Elliott holds down the game, slows down the game enough for Dak Prescott to be able to make some good throws, and the Dallas Cowboys end up winning the game.
Yep, we picked the same.
That's why I wanted to pick it first. So you didn't think I was cheating.
Same upset again. I think the biggest difference maker in this game is going to be that Dallas Cowboys defensive line against Carolina Panthers offensive line. Panthers lost another starting offensive lineman, lost their left tackle. They lost Andrew Norwell from last year. I believe they lost another guard as well, so they're pretty thin there. Cowboys offensive line is kind of thin as well, but they still have some of their key pieces involved. I think Dak and Zeke are going to do enough, and that wide receiver core that's below average will do enough, and the Cowboys are going to win a close football game in Carolina, a big road test for them.
I have the Carolina Panthers against the Cowboys there, and I just don't believe the Dallas Cowboys with Dak Prescott is that good. But at the same time, Dak Prescott, he's a capable quarterback, but he just doesn't have the offensive weapons at the wide receiver position, in my opinion, to put him over the edge, especially for this year. You look at Allen Hurns. Allen Hurns was at best the number 2 last year on his team, and now he's thrown into the number 1. You still have Terrence Williams there. You have Cole Beasley there. I just don't believe that's enough firepower for that offense. I think Carolina is going to be too much for the Dallas Cowboys. Moving on, Seattle Seahawks at the Denver Broncos.
One of the hardest places to play early in the football season.
This place is loud as hell.
Is at Denver, yeah. It gets rocking. Teams don't have their football lungs yet. Plus, going into Mile High Stadium and playing there, or Sports Authority, whatever it's called now, but the altitude causes big issues. I'm going to go with the Denver Broncos. That new offense led by Case Keenum is going to put up some points. Royce Freeman's going to have one heck of a game. A lot of garbage time points from Mr. Russell Wilson, but I think the Broncos get this win. I think it's kind of shocking right now that they're big underdogs, according to all the people picking it on ESPN.
Little known fact, when in Denver, when that stadium is rocking, but if you turn the stadium background noise completely down and you just bring all of it down so it's quiet, you can hear us like, duh, and the drool dripping from John Elway's mouth as he watches the football game, because that guy is an idiot. He did not do the greatest job, but his team is formidable. I still think Russell Wilson is known for finding a way, and he's going to do just that here in week 1. I finally get to pick against Tom. Russell Wilson, Chris Carson, and even maybe your guy Penny Hardaway. What's his name?
Rashad Penny.
Okay, Penny Hardaway. He goes out there and catches a few balls out of the backfield. Give me the Seattle Seahawks winning a nail biter.
Penny Hardaway, come on. I'm going to pick the team with the new quarterback and the new running back, starting for the Denver Broncos. I like Sanders a lot this week in fantasy and just in the game in general. The Seahawks, I think, just with their defense, it's going to be very, very tough for them to stay in this game. But they do have one of the best quarterbacks in Russell Wilson to try to keep them in the game. A lot of garbage yards, a lot of garbage TDs probably going to come in this game, but I think it's going to be a closer game score-wise than a lot of people think. Probably like in the 30s, 37 to I could see 31.
I'm interested to see how Russell Wilson handles the Von Miller and
Bradley Chubb, baby.
Bradley Chubb.
Woo!
I'm very, very excited. This is the game that I plan on watching in the afternoon.
That D-line's scary, and you got a healthy Derek Wolfe. It's a good group coming after quarterback.
Yep.
Next game, Washington Redskins at the Arizona Cardinals.
This is another game don't really care too much about right now, in all honesty. Redskins, with Alex Smith, I'm not a believer in him. I do not like watching his football games. They're kind of boring. I wish Darius Geis was healthy. That would give me some reason to watch this football game. But I think the Cardinals, Sam Bradford, he's going to have his one good game of the year, and that's going to come against the Redskins. Him and David Johnson and Larry Fitz will do enough on the offensive side of the football and get it done. That defense causes issues for the Redskins. Cardinals win big.
Cardinals win big.
I'm shocked that the Cardinals are like favored, at least by ESPN votes at this time. I was really shocked. I'm glad though, because now I get to go against Tom once again.
I feel good about both these matchups.
I like what the Redskins defense has been doing. Jonathan Allen and what he's added to that Redskins interior line is not to be messed with. I'm a little bit concerned as a David Johnson owner how he's going to be able to run against it. He got to catch the ball in the backfield as well. But the Redskins, I think, are going to be a little bit better than people are giving them credit for. Alex Smith is just the even keel guy. He just finds a way, and Arizona is not good. Obviously, anytime you travel across country in the NFL, there's big time question marks there. Stats don't do you well. Week one's when you want it. Week one's when you want it. You've been prepping for it all year. Give me the Washington Redskins to go out there and get the W.
I think Sam Bradford is going to get hurt on at least the third play of this game, and the Washington Redskins, they're going to try to figure out who is going to be the running back of their team. If it's going to be not fat Rob Kelly, supposedly slimmed down, Samaje Perine, Chris Thompson. Did Capri Bibbs make the team? I think he did, right?
I don't think he
I'm
did.
not sure.
No, I'm pretty sure he didn't. I'm pretty sure he got cut.
So they're going to have to figure Adrian Peterson. Oh, my God, that old fossil. So they got to figure out who's going to be the lead
Jay Gruden
dog.
said he looks phenomenal.
Every time I see him run,
Looked phenomenal last year, too.
he looks like he runs straight up in the air. Like,
Every time I see
it's
him
so
run,
bad.
I just imagine that's what his kids look like running from him.
I
Too
think
soon?
it's so
Too
bad.
soon?
But I like Alex Smith. I like him on the Redskins. I like him with the receiving options that they have. Some of the pieces they had in the offseason. I think Paul Richardson's going to be a big addition for the Redskins. I'm going to go with the Redskins. I think they're going to try to use David Johnson too much, and I think it's going to get shut down. I think he'll have under 70 yards in this game rushing.
Total yards?
I said rushing.
70
yards rushing. He'll probably have about 30 yards receiving.
I'm okay with that.
Moving on, we have the Chicago Bears at the Green Bay Packers. Sunday night primetime football on NBC.
Guys, we didn't get a chance to discuss yet. My life changed a little bit on Saturday. First time in a long time, I was proud of my team. Proud that the moves that they made. Proud of, honestly, I think they fleeced the Raiders a little bit. At the end of the day, the Raiders just got a one first round pick, in my opinion. The first round in 2019, essentially for nothing. 2020 was a swap of 1 and 2. Whatever.
Pretty much for the Bears. Their first round pick next year is Khalil Mack.
Yeah.
That's what it is. That's what it comes out to.
And
then
then
they flip-flopped a 1 and a 2 for next year. They stole. They basically put a bag over Gruden's head and poked him in the eyes.
This is
in this trade.
the last thing I'm going to say about this trade is all of the Green Bay Packers and all of the Detroit Lions and Minnesota Vikings fans who have come out and like mocked this trade, you would all be creaming in your pants if your team made the exact same deal.
Well, yeah, our good buddy, Mr. Michael Legent, he was laughing when he found out that we get 2 first-round picks, and at the time, rightfully so, we didn't know immediately that they got that second rounder back. Then when we found out,
Neither did John Gruden.
Either did Gruden. Then when we found out that the Bears did get the second, and you actually break it down, it's a steal for the Bears and a slap in the dick for the Raiders.
Honestly, listen, all Packers fans out. Mike was on one of these shows while you were gone, Josh, and we talked about if the Packers just gave up their 2 first-round picks next year, and he was fine with it. He just didn't think they had the money. No one out there, I don't care who you are or what you say, you are a liar if you say you don't want a Khalil Mack in his prime, 2 years ago, defensive MVP, every single year since, not his rookie year, but every year since, 10.5 sacks plus. That's what you want. Hand in the ground, standing up. Doesn't matter. Fits in perfectly with what Vic Fangio's defense is. This is a 100% home run. It's a home run. Even if he ends up, God forbid, goes out there this week and tears his Achilles, the Bears made the right decision.
I agree.
They made the right decision, and that's it. Now, going to this game directly, listen, I still don't like this game. I still am nervous. I am now a little bit more willing to say that the Bears do have a top 10 defense. They had one last year. I said that I was worried about their secondary. With Khalil Mack, it kind of makes that secondary better. It relieves a lot of pressure with those young linebackers as well. Khalil Mack is exactly what the doctor ordered for this defense. They do have potential, once again, to be a top 10 defense. But, I am not sold on Mitchell Trubisky as a starting quarterback in the NFL. I am not sold on a Jordan Howard being a star running back in this offense. Somewhere else, yes. I don't think Nagy's going to utilize him the way because Nagy doesn't want him. He does not fit Nagy's style. This is why I think game's going to be close. It's going to be much closer than it would have been without one Khalil Mack. But at the end of the day, the Green Bay Packers have Aaron Rodgers. The Green Bay Packers have Devontae Adams. They have a better chance of figuring out a way to overcome that defense than Mitchell Trubisky does to overcome that upgraded secondary in Green Bay that our buddy Mike is raving about. That secondary isn't as good as he thinks that they are, but they're good enough to shut down one Mitchell Trubisky and the Bears. The Green Bay Packers win this game.
This is a perfect Sunday night football game. It's going to be fun going out, seeing all the Bears-Packers fans arguing and bickering. And what's crazy about the Khalil Mack deal is everyone's talking about how good of a pass rusher he is. He's a better run defender. He's going to solidify that unit. There's going to be nowhere to run against this Bears defense. Danny Trevathan and
Leonard Floyd.
You got Roquan Smith. They're just going to be free to run around. They're the luckiest linebackers in the league right now. I think this game's going to be close. Kind of brought it up earlier. I think it's going to be a defensive slugfest, low scoring. Don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to put up a crazy amount of fantasy points, but I think he's going to do enough. I think Mitchell Trubisky, he's still growing as a quarterback. We'll see how that offense is. I think not playing him in 3 preseason games, was it 3? Yeah. I think that's going to be apparent.
It's a warning sign to me.
I think it's going to be slow. I think that offense is going to struggle to move the football, and I think the Packers get the victory.
I'm going to go with the Bears, guys. I'm just going with the chance here. I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be like a 17-14 game. I really like the Bears' defense. I know Mike is not going to like this pick at all, but I don't even think that Khalil Mack is going to do a ton in this game. I think him just being out there, though, and letting the other guys, like you said, run around and do their thing, I think that is what's going to cause a headache for Mr. Aaron Rodgers there. And I think they'll get probably at least 2 turnovers. I think we're going to see the defense maybe score a touchdown. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens. But Mitchell Trubisky, I just, again, like Tim alluded to, I'm not 100% sold that he is, quote-unquote, the guy. But with this Khalil Mack trade, and now all this talk about the Bears defense, and I was listening to this on the 4-Letter Network radio station, they were talking about how this actually does not put the pressure on Mitchell Trubisky as much anymore.
He doesn't have to grow as much.
He doesn't have to grow as much as fast. Before this trade, we were told and we knew that the Bears defense was good. It was a top 10 defense. But what is Mitch Trubisky going to do to push that offense over the edge? Now you kind of look at this and say, all right, well, they did what the Rams did, got as many pieces as they can, put it around them. Now they're doing what the Jacksonville Jaguars did and building up this great defense. They're kind of taking the 2 teams and molding it, so it's very interesting to see what the Bears are going to do.
I'm just shocked that Khalil Mack was able to agree to that contract to a team with a virgin quarterback. I just don't know how they were able to do that.
Very interesting.
What?
Moving on, we have the New York.
Virgin.
We have the New York Jets at the Detroit Lions.
It's kind of an ugly first Monday night game. Not too excited about it. It'll be cool to see Matt Patricia, his first game as a head coach. facing a former team, the Jets, that he used to beat up on all the time in New England. See if he can continue to beat them up. I think the Lions are going to win this football game. They got the home game. That defense should be a little bit better, and I got faith in that improved offensive line being able to run the football and make life a little bit easier on Matthew Stafford. It'll be fantastic to see the youngest starting quarterback in the history of the NFL, Sam Darnold, throw the football for the Jets. He was like QB4 in this last draft class, so it's interesting that he's the starting guy there for the Jets.
I'm gonna go next because I'll let Tim go on his little rant about his buddy. But I think it's gonna be kind of an, like you said, an ugly Monday night game. I'm gonna go with the Lions 20, Jets 0.
I hope.
I think everything that you said about the Lions is true, but at the end of the day, it's still the Lions. They still find a way. I don't think Matt Patricia has found a way yet to pound all the stupid out of what they've had there in that organization. Sam Darnold proving by being the only rookie starting quarterback here in 2018. Everything that I said coming out of the draft makes me very happy. I got lucky to be on the worst team, but nevertheless, I agree with you guys completely. It seems like the 6 o'clock Monday night game is always the worst, like, and most awkward to your point. Like,
yeah.
This game might end 8-5. Like, it'd just be a super awkward, dumb game. But I also have the Detroit Lions winning.
Last game, we have the LA Rams at the Oakland Raiders.
The Rams they might be the most, like, intriguing team of the offseason. We saw they brought in Ndamukong Suh, they brought in Marcus Peters. You got to keep
Bryant.
No.
Yeah,
The Rams?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Raiders.
No.
Sorry.
The Rams, they got Aqib Talib. This defense is loaded. We saw that offense take the next step. And then on the other side of the football, you got the Raiders. What the hell is going on there? No one knows. This is going to be a crazy matchup. I think the Rams are going to beat the snot out of the Raiders. And Chucky, the Raider Nation, it's not off to a good start. I think it just continues to get worse. We'll see if he makes it past year one.
I hope. Well, he got a contract of 10 years, $10 million.
He said he'd stop coaching if he doesn't win. So we'll see how bad this gets.
I kind of hope the Rams are beating the brakes off of them. That way, Derek Carr and Amari Cooper can get some garbage time fantasy points in like the second and third quarter. I'm just interested to see what happens. How is John Gruden able? I agree with everything you said. You talked about the Rams enough, so I agree with everything that you said. The Raiders and just their crazy ass team. Marshawn Lynch, Doug Martin, Amari Cooper, Jordy Nelson. Just all the weird pieces that they have. They're like talented people, but it just seems like just a cluster, just a mess. Another team that could be competing for the number one pick.
Yeah, the Rams are going to murder the Raiders. I don't even know.
I hope the Raiders come out and dominate. That'd be fantastic for the NFL.
All I got to say is with Martavis Bryant getting cut, one more step for Marcel Aitman. That's all I got to say about
They're going to be running like so much 1 and 2 wide receivers.
Didn't they give up like a third round draft pick for him too?
From Martavis, yeah.
Yeah.
And then they cut him. Dear Lord. What is... It'll be interesting. And the best part about this is week 1. None of us really have any idea.
Yeah, you have no
I
clue
mean,
right now.
This is like the craziest week, the
Week
hardest week to predict.
Week one is probably one of the only weeks that I won't bet financially, just because it's not safe.
Yeah.
Nothing's safe. Nothing's for sure.
Best game and the worst game that you guys are looking forward to, not looking forward to.
My number one game will probably be the Bears and Packers. I think the storylines for that are absolutely fantastic. Game probably the Dolphins and Titans for at least like entertaining kind of.
Yeah, best game. I can't deny it. And I know I'm a homer, but it's Bears Packers. A best quarterback in the league who just got a new contract against one of the best pass rushers in the league who just got the highest contract for a defensive player in NFL history. It's I think I saw something where like their points scored over their career series is exactly the same right now. Like, it's
awesome
for that type of rivalry. Like, it just makes it feel important again. I haven't not even that I think the Bears. I picked the Packers, but I am just so excited for it to actually feel like it's a real game again.
Yep.
Something we've missed here the last few years. Least favorite game by far is the Buffalo Bills against the Baltimore Ravens.
That game
Nathan
was
Peterman
trash.
and Joe Flacco as your quarterbacks. You can keep that and stuck it up your...
Yeah, my least favorite game, Titans and Dolphins. My most favorite game that I'm looking forward to, the Browns and Steelers. I want to see that upset.
I hope it happens.
It'll be interesting.
Tell Rod can do it.
All right, anything else, boys?
That's all I got. Football week, baby.
Week 1.
Week
Hold
1.
your hats.
Close. Countdown. Couple days. All right, we'll talk to you guys all later. Follow us on Twitter at PonyKeg Sports, at Fight Talk Tim, at Pony_Keg_Tom, and always go to our website, PonyKegSports.com, and email us ponykegsports@gmail.com.
And make sure to check out our sponsor, Rogue Energy. It is delicious, fruity, and gives you some energy.
True. All right, till next time.
Peace!